What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with reactions to the classics, and today, for the first time on the channel, at least for full album, we have the White Stripes and their album Stijl, which is what I've listened to everybody say. So I'm going to go with Stijl. Brought to us by a friend, longtime supporter, and patron of the channel, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons who make this thing go. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out that Patreon link below, the Patreon link on the end screen. We greatly appreciate it. Well, I had never heard much White Stripes, right? I knew some of the hit songs, some of them, not all of them. But Trey and I, back in 2022, did an album draft where we listened to the top albums from every single year and picked our top albums. So I didn't listen to this album, but I listened to the next two. I mean, I've only listened to them once, but I never listened to this album, but really came to like the White Stripes. I've done a ton of research on this. Don't worry. I mean, it's not going to be a 2-hour long video. You already see that below, I know. But I did a ton of research on this because it's interesting. I didn't know a lot about the White Stripes, but I kept it brief on summarizing it. But it's the second studio album released on June 20th, 2000 on Sympathy for the Record Industry label. It's produced by Jack White and was recorded on an 8-track analog tape in his living room. It was not an immediate commercial success. It later reached number 38 on Billboard's independent albums chart in 2002 and 38 in the UK, 2 years after its release when the White Stripes grew in popularity, so after the next album. It's regarded as a cult classic. A little background on this. Jack and Meg White divorced in 2000, and Jack assumed that the band was over. On the day the band was set to perform after their separation, Meg convinced Jack that they should continue their work as the White Stripes regardless. It was self-recorded by the duo in Jack's living room using an analog 8-track, like I said. The album takes its name from the Stijl, the style, which is what that means in English, art movement, which included the painter Mondrian. Jack had been an admirer of the style for some time, especially furniture designer Gerrit Rietveld. I'm sure I'm butchering these. Rietveld designed the Rietveld Schroeder house, which Jack and Meg White visited while on tour in the Netherlands. This album was dedicated to both Rietveld and blind Willie McTell, which more on that in a little while. It is an aesthetic movement began in 1917 in Amsterdam. That's what Stijl is, combining cubism with Neoplatonic mathematical theory to create hyper-minimalistic artwork and architecture, which I'm sure you already knew, but it's for the people who didn't. But it does influence kind of what they do on their album covers as well, not just this one, but others. Jack took the short-lived school of thought to heart, using his influence in his upholstering and later in the White Stripes himself. So, if you don't know, Jack was an upholsterer in Detroit. Like, that's what he did for a living and made an okay living. So when this album came out, he couldn't decide whether he wanted to, if they were going to go on tour, he was going to have to give up his business. That's a scary thing, right? If that's how you have your livelihood. They didn't hit it big with their first album. They're doing this in his living room. He has no idea of how this is going to really become big and he's going to be able to make a living, but he obviously goes ahead and does that. And as I say, boys and girls, the rest is history. High critical acclaim on this. Enemy an 8 out of 10. Pitchfork a 9.1 out of 10. All songs written by Jack White, except where noted, which there's 2 covers on here. But if you haven't been with us before, the music will not be in the video, but it'll be a Vimeo link below. So go down there and check that out. Let's get to the album opener. And I don't have a lot on a lot of these songs. We have You're Pretty Good Looking, in parentheses, for a girl. It's 13 songs on here, but it's only 37 minutes long, so it's going to move fast, boys and girls. I'll have the lyrics up as always. Thanks again, Robert. You're pretty good looking for a girl. It's great sound, right? Great guitar work. Jack sounds good. You can tell he recorded in his living room in a good way, right? That garage rock type sound in there. And I think the song's about just this girl knows how to manipulate guys. He doesn't want to be her toy, he says, but she's kind of relying on him, so he's kind of saying that to her too. But good first track. Next up, we have Hello Operator. It was a single, and Paste magazine ranked it number 10, and Stereo Gum number 7 on their list of the 10 greatest White Stripes songs. So high praise here. Obviously, you got Jack on vocal and guitars, Meg on drums. We got John Szymanski on harmonica on this one. Let's go. All right, Hello Operator. I can see why everybody likes this so much. I mean, I don't know what it's about. There's only 2 verses, no chorus. They do a verse, they have this long instrumental breakdown, they do a verse, and then the code of the outro with the harmonica and the guitar interplay. It just sounds great sonically. It just sounds fantastic. Next up, we got Little Bird. Once again, just Jack's powerhouse guitar here. And Meg's drumming has been very important so far. Just kind of keeping in there. She's not going to go out there and just do some crazy drum fills, right? But it's been really, really good. This song's about abducting somebody. I mean, I don't think there's any other way around. I got a little bird, going to take her home, put her in a cage, and disconnect the phone. So, and Your Bird Can Sing from the Beatles. Anybody like Bird talking about a woman? Give me a look. I'm going to get the book. I'm going to preach the word. I want to preach to birds as I walk the floor. Yeah, this I know. When I get you home, this is how it goes. I got nothing to lose. I'll never let you go. So quite the haunting song here from Jack. Now we go to the 4th track and the most popular song on here. We got Apple Blossom, right? Apple Blossom. Basically, she's upset and he's letting her know, I'll do anything for you to make you feel better. I'll help you with your problems. Saw this was used in the 2015 Quentin Tarantino film, The Hateful Eight. I've seen that show. I don't remember the song in it. It definitely sounds different than the other ones, right? It's more like a blues type of deal almost, right? Sounds a lot like the Kinks. Sounds a little bit like the Beatles in some places. So definitely showing the versatility because it's kind of totally different. So I really liked it. You already see it below because it rolled in the next song. But I'm Bound to Pack It Up. This song features cousin and then neighbor Paul Henry Ossie on electric violin. At the time of recording, Meg commented, "Are you sure you want to put this on the album?" It sounds a lot like Led Zeppelin. So I thought the last song sounded like the Kinks and a little bit the Beatles. Now we're going to get Zepp. I'm Bound to Pack It Up. The guitar work on that, the acoustic, the intricacies, that was fantastic. That melody was just fantastic. I definitely see Zepp in there, right? You even see a little Floyd, a little Who. I can see a lot of it, but I definitely see Zepp in there. But maybe I see it because Meg said it. But man, that song was great. And it's about basically he cares for this girl. And I mean, I wonder if he wrote some of this to Meg since they got divorced. They've never really talked about their divorce, why it happened, or any of that stuff. And yeah, I mean, if you don't know the White Stripes story, I mean, imagine you do because you're watching this. Maybe you just watch this channel, so you're watching this video. You know, they were married but pretended to be brother and sister. And when Jack married Meg, he took her last name and left his alone. So a lot of unorthodox stuff here, and obviously kept it because, I mean, he's Jack White. He was known as that, and it just kind of goes together. But her feelings are gone, so he's going to pack it up and move away and go away. And pack it up meaning his feelings for her. He's got to move on. Next up, we have the menacing Death Letter, written by Eddie James Son House, better known as Son House. It's a cover of a song of the same name from the 1965 by Delta blues musician Son House. Jack has always been a fan of Son House. In the documentary It Might Get Loud, White cited Son House's a cappella song, Grinning in Your Face, as his favorite song ever. The White Stripes even dedicated their debut LP to him. So like Jack is big time into these old blues guys. And this won't be the only song on this album from an old blues guy. Death Letter. Let me tell you something. You already know this if you're watching. But Jack White can play that guitar, man. That was a fantastic showcase. And once again, shows his diversity. And Meg on those drums was fantastic as well. I'm going to remind you again of what I said at the start. This was recorded in his living room on an analog 8-track, which gives it part of its charm. That sounds absolutely fantastic. The song itself is a great blues song. Son House's Woman is Dead. Now, you always got to wonder in these songs, did he kill her? But he's packing up his suitcase to go see her. She's still on the cooling board. Didn't realize how much he loved her till they were alone, or that he loved her at all till they were alone her in the ground. But her pillow was next to him. So I'm like, surely you didn't kill her, did you, son? But just a fantastic song and fantastic guitar work. Next up, there's 13 songs. So we're song number 7. So we're at the halfway mark. Sister, Do You Know My Name? Sister, Do You Know My Name? So Jack sees this girl. She's coming on the bus. He went to summer school and didn't see her. So he's admired her from afar. But he wonders, if he's going to be able to be with her. School's back in session. That always sucked if you remember back in the day, right? Summer was great. School comes back in session. But apparently Jack had to go to summer school, so he didn't really get a break. But in the last verse, it's going to work out for him and things because she actually came and sat down next to him. So another good, almost blues type of guitar there. Next up, an intriguing title, Truth Doesn't Make a Noise. Truth doesn't make a noise. He wants to protect this girl, right? She's tiny. The bullies are messing with her, telling her what to do, so truth doesn't make a noise. I think basically saying ignoring the bullies is the best thing you can do. I don't know if he's writing about Meg. A lot of people think he is, but a lot of people think a lot of these songs are about Meg because the relationship's fractured. It could be. It's awkward if it is, right? And she's right there. Who knows, man? But usually we write about what's close to us, but a good song. Next up, we have A Boy's Best Friend. Okay, A Boy's Best Friend. Really good blues style guitar here. I didn't really like this song. I didn't necessarily like the arrangement, but I appreciate how great the instrumentation is and the musicianship on this is. Boy's Best Friend. Basically, this kid's running away. Or this guy's running away. I mean, it's teen. I would say a teen boy running away. At least that's the way I picture it in my mind. Basically saying at the end, it's your mother or your pet who's your best friend, right? At the end, he runs away to this abandoned house, I think, in verse 2, because he can't use the phone or anything because there's, nothing's hooked up. So, the second longest song on her. It wasn't horrible by any means, right? Just one of them I didn't really feel. Now we're getting to a couple quick ones. Under 2 minutes, Let's Build a Home. Let's Build a Home. Got this, I think, little kid talking at the beginning. I don't really know what this song's about, right? I guess building a home, building a relationship right now. It was fine. It's good guitar work and stuff. It was fine. I mean, nothing standout because there's so many standout tunes on here. We have another short song. We got Jumble Jumble. On February 5th, 2008, Canadian media reported that former Radio Canada host Dominique Payette filed a lawsuit against the White Stripes for using a 9-second clip of her interview with a little girl at the beginning of this song. She demanded $70,000 in damages and the removal of the album from store shelves. The dispute was settled out of court. Funny, in 2008, maybe she didn't know it existed before then, but once somebody becomes successful, it's amazing the people that come after him. Jumble Jumble, garage rock at its best right there. You know, you couldn't even really understand much of the beginning. I mean, I get it. I mean, if it's her voice and her stuff, I guess she wants to be compensated for it because it was used. I totally understand. So I wasn't trying to diminish that. I don't think it should be taken off the shelves or any of that good stuff. But, you know, a fun song. Next up, we got Why Can't You Be Nicer to Me? I didn't find anything on the song, but now I'm thinking, was he writing this to Meg? I don't even know what it's about. Why Can't You Be Nicer to Me? The musicianship on here is fantastic. I mean, on the whole album, I know I'm a broken record, but on this song in particular, Meg's drumming and then Jack's guitar work. And this song, man, this song is, it's a serious song, right? It's not, I don't think it's written to Meg. It's written to a group of people. This guy has no one. They don't care about him. They don't care to get to know him. And then in the third verse, there's 3 verses. He ends up jumping off a bridge, right? He's trying to kill himself and he's laying there and no one even cares. So a very serious song and very well done. To the last track on the album, it's actually this album, one of the people, it's, as I told you at the start, it's dedicated to this man. Your Southern Can Is Mine, written by William Samuel McTeer. But you know him as Blind Willie McTell. So this song has some lyrics that are difficult, right? Controversial now. And so Jack took some heat for covering this song. A lot of heat. All right, that really is Blind Willie at the end there. Meg coming in for some backing vocals on here. A nice little drum just in there in the background holding this. And you know, good guitar work, obviously, from Jack. And the song itself, like, look, man, I'm not going to go over the lyrics with you. And yes, he's just basically threatening this woman that's his woman. You know, the song's from 1931. And I did read, now I'm not telling you this is the case with this song, but a lot of the blues guys back in that day wrote songs about women, but the women were really placeholders for white people because obviously these guys were treated so horrifically and threatened all the time, right? But if they would have wrote these actually to the white man, they would have been killed because that's how it was done. That's when everybody tells in this country, start talking about the good old days. There's no freaking good old days, but I won't get off on that rant. But yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if that's what Blind Willie was doing here. I have no idea, but just keep that in mind. But Jack did a fantastic version of this. And now we'll get to my favorite tracks. Honorable mention, the first track, You're Pretty Good Looking for a Girl. And Death Letter, the guitar on that thing, on that cover of Sun House. And then Why Can't You Be Nicer to Me? Fave's going to be Hello Operator, Apple Blossom, and I'm Bound to Pack It Up. So, fantastic album. Fantastic album. Once again, I'm going to remind you, this was recorded in Jack's living room, man. He put it all together. Meg is not talked about a ton in the Stripes and a lot of stuff because Jack's gone on to such success, but she's pivotal in this. Remember, guys, they're doing this basically almost totally every song is just 2 people. Just a guitar and drums. So the sound they're able to create is somewhat unique, sounds fantastic. Sometimes it's garage rock, sometimes it's blues, right? Sometimes it's Zepp, right? It's all these different things and shows you what's about to happen. But if this album would have been their 4th album instead of their 2nd album, I think it would have been huge because I think it holds up. I think it's fantastic. So I'm going to be at an 8.5 on this thing on First List. It's a fantastic album. It's 13 songs. It's 37 minutes. You can get through it quickly. There's something in here for everybody. If you don't like one song, don't worry, man. It's not going to last that long and the next one's going to come up. I happen to like them all. I mean, 1 or 2 of them weren't my faves, right? But they were still good. So thank you very much to Robert for bringing this one to me. Let me know what else I should check out from the White Stripes below. What do you give this album? What are your favorites? And where do you think this ranks in their discography? If you haven't already, guys, give this a thumbs up. It super helps. And hit the subscribe button. We got 2,600 videos up at the time of this film. You'll find something that you like. Until next time, guys, I will see you